Howdy, howdy, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to the Practical Magic by Nikki Vandekar discussion. This is our replacement book because the one book decided to disappear off of the face of the earth, it seemed like. So, I really enjoyed diving back into this one. So, this is my, I think, second reread of this. And it still got its, I think I gave it like 4 or 5 stars. I can't quite remember now.
This was my first reread, but I think I gave it the same. It was like a 4 or 5.
I felt like all the information was given to you to make it like easy to digest, and it didn't overload you with too many like terms. So I definitely recommend it as a resource for those who are starting out, because it was one of those books for me when I started last year or the year before.
I agree, because I'm definitely going to use it as a reference book, because there's some stuff in there that I haven't really touched base on yet, like the chakras and the auras. I haven't really done those, so those were interesting to read. Like, I knew about chakras, but I didn't know in depth, and then I didn't know each color had a different name and purpose.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Hello, Lucinda.
hello.
Ma'am, I is busy right now. We're gonna have to wait. Okay. But let's just go through the different sections, shall we?
I think we're starting with chakras.
No, yeah, part 1, healing for hedge witches, and it goes into chakras. And another side note, the artwork in this thing is probably like my favorite, because that intro artwork.
Even like the end pages, it has like the zodiacs and stuff on it. So I liked that. I think there was another one, artwork, that was really good too.
Yeah.
I mean, all of them were pretty good. Like they show like all of the astrological signs.
And like the one for the palm reading as well was really good.
Oh, this one. The auras. They were all pretty good.
But we touched briefly on it a minute ago, but with chakras, it kind of, the section dives deep into how you can like open them, how do you try to identify them. I have no idea how to pronounce any of these. That would be like my main thing, is I wish they had kind of like a pronunciation guide. That would be my only gripe with that section, because I am terrible at trying to pronounce anything. So
Audible has the audio book for this.
Oh, really?
So, and that's how I was reading it. But yeah, you're right, because I couldn't tell you, like, doing it now, if I had the audiobook, yes, I'd be able to pronounce it, but without it, no. I could go, but I would probably mess it up. So I would like to have the pronunciations. And I don't think they have anything like that in the back.
Yola from my dining room area. But yeah, I do also like the symbols, how they have the symbols for each chakra on it too, because that makes it a lot easier to kind of identify them, especially if you don't remember the names or like me cannot pronounce them.
And I was glad that they did this one, because now you can see where they're supposed to be in order.
Yeah.
And what colors they're associated with. So I was glad they did that.
And then they give you like the color that's associated with the chakra, along with the essential oils and the sound that you can use to try to like balance them. And each section also gives you information about how you can like what each one is connected to, how you can open it, what it may feel like if it's out of balance versus when it's in balance. So and it's in each paragraph, it might seem a little long, but the way that it's written, it's really like easy and bite sized. So I didn't feel like my brain was getting too overloaded with it. And then there's also a section for balancing the individual ones as well.
Yes. And that's one thing I liked about this entire book, especially with the chakras and stuff. Even though they don't have the pronunciations, at least they broke it down into the different ones and how to balance them.
Mm-hmm.
And they made it really easy to understand. There's a kitty cat.
Hey, you kitty. And then the next section we have are crystals. This section gives you like pretty much like the basic like beginner's list of crystals that like you could start with, and it also incorporates the chakras into it. Like in the first like 2 pages, it mentions the chakras, but it gives you a good like page in actually front and back page of a list of crystals to use, what their meaning is behind, and then it goes into how you can choose and activate your crystals and how the different types of cuts of the crystals are, like chunks versus like tumbled versus wand kind of thing. I thought that was really nice.
Yes, and I do like how they were like, this is what you can use each stone for. Even because I know there's a lot more stones than this, but they gave like a basic overview of all of them.
Yeah, and this list is pretty much like the tried and true type of crystals that I've seen at like all the stores that I've been to so far. They usually have these in stock, so they're really easy to find. Do you have a particular stone that you like to work with? Say tiger's eye?
This is tiger's eye. I usually get the tumbled ones, but I did just get this one. The tumbled ones I usually get, and I put them in the car because it says they're good for safe travel.
I have black tourmaline and a tumbled one in my car for that. And actually, I will go grab what I got.
And then amethyst is usually good for, I believe, creativity, right? Amethyst
For they have intuition, spiritual awareness, but I use it as a calming stone.
And I think it can also be used for protection or creativity. I have to find the little slip because they give you little slips with each one. And then, of course, clear quartz is always good.
Yeah, I just got the sunstone.
Ooh.
Yeah. I got Jordan a little dragon head. For blanking on the name of the stone, but it's UV fluorescent. And it has like when you put it under UV, the lady said it's supposed to have like orange spots on it. And then I got a little piece of fluorite, but you probably won't be able to see it very well on camera, but it is a kitty.
Oh my gosh, I can see like the little ears.
Yeah. So you do a tiny piece of fluorite. So these are going to my office with me on Monday and gonna live on my desk. So
there you go. That's where I usually have some of mine. I usually use them, especially if it's something that I can use to attract muses for creativity, then they sit on my desk.
Mm-hmm. I have moonstone, green moonstone sphere in our bedroom that I had won the moonstone from one of our local stores that had opened in one of their giveaways. But that in our bedroom because moonstone is supposed to encourage peace and harmony. So, and
Mhm.
I need that whenever I'm trying to go to sleep. But
There's
I think my
another one.
favorite one, I always am attracted to either like carnelian or lapis lazuli. Words. I tend to
Yeah,
always be super attracted to those, even though I already have like a ton of lapis pieces.
there is one, and I have my case. There's one that I have and I put above my bed because it's supposed to help with grieving. And this is another good one too, the honey calcite.
Mm-hmm. I have a chunk of that actually.
Um, I'm trying to see if I can find the paper real quick.
I do agree. Lapis is a pretty color. So is sodalite. Sodalite and lapis kind of get mixed up with each other because they have similar coloring, but sodalite has more bands of orange in it. So those
Mhm.
two I always tend to like. Give me the pretties. I want the pretties.
Apache tear is a good one. That's the
Mhm.
one that helps with grief.
Yeah, she's always going towards the amethyst. I I was trying to get her to buy a thing of amethyst when we went to a market last Saturday together. Where I got my purples from.
Amethyst?
But she resisted. She did get a little money spell jar though when we were at that market.
Ooh. There's all kinds of stones that can be useful in, and some of the ones they'll even tell you what chakra it goes towards.
Yeah. Let's see.
So I like that.
And on the second page, when you get into the crystal section, root chakra can be stimulated with red or black stones like obsidian, hematite, garnet, and smoky quartz.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I like it.
he grabbed his dragon's head. Let's see how. He's pretty though.
Yeah, the light just.
Yeah, it's not
Oh yeah,
wanting.
I can kind of see it a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Eh, kinda.
It's kind of like when you shine the light on it or like move it away just so it's not in the center, then you can see it. Because there's like one right on the tip I can see. But that's neat.
Yeah, I saw it and I'm like, yeah, I gotta get that along with the kitty. It's the same booth.
Yeah, it's well.
Yeah, she only had the spell jar for a week and she already needs to fix it.
Oh no.
But then we got the aura section that we saw the pretty picture for. I am still nowhere near being able to identify anybody's aura. Even though this has all the information you need for it, I'm still terrible about trying to identify any of it.
Yeah, I'm not good with the auras by any means. Um I didn't know much about auras to begin with before reading this,
Mm-hmm.
but but I also thought about like cuz there's been times where like I meet someone for the first time and I get that sense like I should not be around this person. So I wonder if that kind of connects with the auras.
That's what I'm thinking as well, because I am the same way. I get weird vibes off of people, and my energy tends to get drained super quickly when I'm around a bunch of people for a long period of time.
Yep.
So I I also kind of think maybe that is part of it as well, because it does go into the different levels of the aura. It's like everyone's like an onion. Quoting Shrek, everybody's an onion.
There's layers.
And yet there's layers. But then it goes into like the different colors and what like their meaning is behind the aura if you could actually see auras. And it
That
does have a
sounds
whole section about how to see auras, but I still haven't been able to do that.
no. But I like how when they go into the colors, they're saying like if you see there's different shades of red. So like if you see a dark red, a muddy red, bright red, pink, or muddy pink, then this is what it could mean.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
just seems like a lot. I think
Right.
about it and I just go, yeah, it's gonna be a while before I get the hang of it.
Yeah, same. And then we go into part 2, which is magic for the Wiccan, and it goes into herbs, like common herbs.
Our pretty little picture.
Yeah, I definitely do like this. It has like a lot of the basic herbs that you see a lot being worked with.
Mm-hmm.
Does it even say how many herbs that they go over in this? 'Cause it's not a whole lot, but it's enough to kind of cover your basic needs.
15,
I don't think it actually says
17,
how.
18.
18?
Yep. I like how one of them is marshmallow,
Yeah.
but it's not in the way that you would think of marshmallow.
Right, yeah. And then there's cranberry, catnip.
Dittany and elderberry.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing I actually have here is a 1 pound bag of elderberry on top of our fridge. Right here. And then Valurin and Vervain is one. Yarrow. And then it goes to teaching you how to make a tincture, oil, and a poultice.
Maybe. I've already forgotten how to pronounce it. It was in the audiobook.
Which this is always a good thing to have. I did highlight that you'll need a strong alcohol, at least 80 proof. Everclear works well, as does vodka or brandy.
Yep.
And then same thing with herbs. A lot of the times, like for the herbs itself, they recommend doing like fresh herbs versus like dried herbs from what I've seen in other places, but this one doesn't actually really say one or the other.
That's one thing I would want to know is if you should be drying them out or if you can use them while they're fresh.
Yeah. Because I have a couple of oils from like just dried herbs that I've had around, like calendula. I have been sitting in this oil for a while. And some like other ones kind of sprinkled throughout my house. And then it goes more into plant-based magic. And it also has another list of common plants and their uses in magic. So at least it has a little bit more instead of just the 18 that they start with. But they don't really go into that much detail with the other ones. They just have like a little bit here and there.
I like how they included belladonna. I immediately thought of the book Belladonna.
Yeah.
I was like,
Poisonous, so do not ingest.
yes. For
Clover.
youth and beauty spells and to summon the dead.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to.
Yeah, no.
Although
there's
if I
clover. Yeah. Clover cures madness, also useful in youth and beauty rituals. Garlic protection, healing, courage, and of course exorcism. That's why I have not been possessed yet. It's because I eat that much garlic.
yeah.
I always have
Honeysuckle is a
lavender.
good one.
Mm-hmm. Lavender is usually my go-to.
Then they have others like mandrake, mistletoe, myrtle, rosemary, sage. And a lot of these are common that like some of them like sage and thyme you could just get at the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
But my shop that I have here, they actually will sell all of those in like bags. So
Mm-hmm. Same thing with the ones at my store as well. There's one that sells you can get like a certain amount of like ounce wise, and then some have them pre-packaged and all that jazz. That's how I got mugwort. Was I had gotten like I think 6 ounces of that from one of my stores. After that, it goes to how you can make a smudge stick. I thought about maybe trying to make a smudge stick one day. I just don't have anything that would make a proper like smudge stick. All of the stuff that I have are kind of like smaller pieces that will be better burned on a charcoal disc instead of like the long stemmed ones.
right.
So you would need more of a long stem type of plant in order to do a smudge stick. And then they tell you how to do a little spell bag, which I like how if you look at it, there's a Deathly Hallows symbol on the bag.
yes.
Right.
This is what they used in Harry Potter.
I just now noticed that too. It's like, hey. But I use for like my spell bags, I have like the kind of like almost like the gift bags.
Like the little mesh ones almost.
Yeah, the mesh ones. I have a bunch of those left over that I just use those for spell bags.
That's what I would use. I mean, if as long as the stuff is not like coming out through the side and you can like cinch it off at the top, then you're good.
And then we go right into the pagan holidays, which if you are new to my channel, this is what I use for Witchathon.
Yeah.
This is how we based our readathon off of. So, but it gives you a good information, like backstory of each of the Sabbats, like Samhain, Yule, like how to celebrate, the colors, stones, herbs associated with it.
I do like in this section, they did actually have this is how it's pronounced. So I like that. I just wish they had it for the first section.
Yeah, I agree.
I wish if they would have done that, they would have been consistent throughout the entire book. But I get it. The holidays are more important.
Yeah. And I just like how much information is provided with the.
As we go through, it's like each one has its own little picture. So you know when their section is gonna start, so to speak.
Except Beltane. Beltane doesn't have its own picture.
I noticed that. Could they not come up with a
Mabon doesn't either. So just only 2 of them.
I wonder if they forgot or if they couldn't find like an appropriate symbol for it.
Possibly. Then it goes into white magic, which
I
isn't
like
really a
that one.
thing. Yeah, it's like isn't really a thing, white magic, but at least according to this, is like there's no such thing as white magic. Magic is magic; it has no color. So, which
Yeah,
I also I agree.
it's all based on what your intentions are.
Mm-hmm.
I
But
like
then,
what is it, the threefold method? Whatever
uh-huh.
you put out, you can expect to have threefold back. So if you intend to do harm, then you will have it back 3 times.
Yep,
You always put out your best foot forward, I say.
I agree. I also go by the thing of always trying to be positive in a situation, because if you put
Hmm.
out negative energy, you're just going to get back negative energy. So I've had that happen to me multiple times, so I try to stay positive as much as I can.
Yep.
And then we have the different parts of a spell. With this, I think it's a good guideline, but with a lot of the books that I read, when they are talking about parts of a spell, like how you have to, in quotes, create a circle or cast a circle. I don't do that.
Mm-mm.
With a lot of my spells, I do cleanse things as I'm working with them, but I don't feel the need to have to cast a circle, because I feel like my house is secure enough because I have stuff, both entries, to kind of block all the negativity out. So I don't feel the need of having to create a circle, but it is a good thing to try to remember if you're going to do, especially a big spell work. Probably prepare ahead of time before you really get into it.
Right. I think that's like, it only depends on what you're doing. I agree. If you're going to do like a bigger spell, then yes, you may want to. But unlike you, if I can just kind of gather the materials, cleanse it, and do it, then I'm good to go.
Yeah. It's like I just as an example, I have these spell jar necklaces that I've made. I didn't cast a circle when I made these. I just
Excuse me.
burned incense the entire time I was doing it, cleansed the jar and everything, and sat with it for a while. And also like put it underneath the full super blue moon. Good to go.
Yep. It just depends on what you're doing and what you need and how much time you have.
Hmm. And if you have animals or kids that will want to touch everything.
Like that one.
Yeah.
But I do like that they did break it down and say this is how you would typically do
Hmm.
a spell.
And then we are given some basic spells like a truth spell, healing, protection, abundance, summoning, banishing, self confidence, and a love spell.
I think that's what I like about this book too, is it literally is giving you the basics on, if you have don't know where to begin, then this kind of gives you here, try this, and then this is what you'll need, that type of thing. But then you can grow from there.
Hmm. And a lot of the times, too, you can, if you don't have a specific thing, like with the healing spell, if you don't have a garlic or sage smudge wand, just use whatever incense stick that you have that associates that you think has kind of a clean healing smell to it. Same thing if you don't have these crystals, whatever kind of fits your vibe, you can use those instead. You don't have to stick with exactly what is in them.
Yep. And they're very quick and easy spells too. It's not like you have to read a whole damn poem.
Yeah, I really enjoy that. And part 3, and isn't part 3 the last part of the book as well?
Yes.
Okay. Clairvoyance. And then we got the chapter on tarot and the artwork for the story.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I like that.
And this really kind of breaks down the suits and the major arcana pretty well, I feel.
It also gives you a little bit of history too, because I think it said that they started surfacing in the like mid 1400s originally, but they were used as playing cards,
Mm-hmm.
and then from there they were, I guess, transitioned into like fortune tellers and divination and all that stuff.
Yeah. It's actually right, like the second paragraph in that one now that I see it. And it shows like our current deck of playing cards. Tarot cards have 4 suits: cups, pentacles, swords, and wands. And they all have represent different things in our life, like cups, relationship; pentacles, work and money; swords discusses conflict; and wands are all about magic and creativity.
Yep.
And then they'll have the 22 additional cards, which is the major arcana. And it kind of
I like that they do that too.
Yeah, the major arcana section, it kind of tells the story of like starting out with the Fool and going to like the world. I like how it kind of touched on that story that the cards tell.
Yeah. And one thing I didn't know was, like, I didn't know that each suit was also representative of an element. So like cups would be water, pentacles would be earth, swords were air, I think. Yeah, and then wands were fire.
Yeah. I always forget that about the suits, that they are associated with an element, which it really brings more depth in a reading when you do remember that as a key part.
Oh yeah. Everything is connected in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm. And then they give you a 3-card spread and a guidance spread to do, which is the 3-card
Yeah.
spread: standard, past, present, future.
I liked those pages.
Yeah. Did you do the spreads yourself? Because I did this back in like April, and I have my notes from it like stuck in my page.
I haven't done it yet, but I will, because I'm
Of course,
interested to see.
and when I did it back in April, from the past card I got the Hermit, which is no surprise
Hermit.
here. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've already forgotten what the hermit said.
They show
Spirituality, solitude, and wisdom. The hermit retreats into himself, looking for an understanding of something more. If he appears, it's time to be introspective. Give yourself some alone time and search within yourself for answers. Oh, man. It'll be interesting to see. I'll probably do it and then share it with you.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
And then we have the astrology section, which is always my favorite part to get into, is astrology. The pretty art.
I love the picture for that one.
Mm-hmm. And it kind of goes into how Western astrology is used. Is that it centers around the date and birth based on some guy's theory. I don't even know how you would even say that.
Tetrabiblos.
Your guess is about as good as mine.
We're gonna go with that.
Yeah.
I would have to look that up.
Mm-hmm. And it sections off each sign based off their element. So mine would be the earth element. It's in the Earth section.
Mine is air, I think. Yep. Gemini. I'm an air symbol. That explains a lot, actually. Mine actually, because when I was reading this, I read it, and mine fits me to a T, because it says a Gemini can be a little confusing in that sometimes they are fun and playful and social, but other times they can be restless, introspective, and indecisive. They are excellent communicators and excel at art, writing, and journalism. They are fascinated by the world and want to share that joy. And I definitely love to write.
Well, mine is Virgo, empathetic and insightful. A Virgo treads carefully. They lead an organized life and leave nothing to chance. Virgos are polite and health conscious, at one with nature. They can be shy and overly critical, both of themselves and of others. I like how Mercury is the ruler of both of ours.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
We were just meant to be friends.
Yeah.
But I also like that they do, like, they're saying, best paired with, like, mine says Sagittarius, but
Mhm.
I married a Leo.
I'm married to a Capricorn, but mine says Pisces, which is what my sister is.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I
And
think
hers
we
is
have,
best paired with Virgo.
so we have 2 fire symbols, an earth symbol, and an air symbol in our family. Because my daughter's an Aries, my husband's a Leo, and my son's a Virgo.
Me and my dad are Virgos, so we got Earth. Jordan and my mom are Capricorns. My sister's Pisces, so Earth and water. His mom, let's see.
What's his name?
His mom and dad, though, are, let's see. His brother's also a Pisces. I forgot about that.
Their ruler is Neptune.
His mom and dad are Tauruses, so they're also Earth.
Wow. It's interesting to see these, though, like when they break it down by what element they are.
Yeah, they say Earth signs get things done. They are dedicated and responsible. The epitome of down to earth. They're loyal, patient, and hardworking, though also naturally conservative. They don't like to take risks. They are, however, quite ambitious and tend to get what they want.
That would make a lot of sense.
And I like how with the airs, it says air signs are kind of like the best aspects of the internet.
Right?
They are extremely intelligent, excellent at communication, but they are so restless that they are constantly moving on to the next idea and the next as they hunger for more information. They are social and chatty, but they value truth and realism above all. That combination allows them to see both sides of an issue in a balanced way.
I can definitely attest to this because I'm constantly moving on. Like, I'll learn something and then I go, okay, I've learned this good enough that I'm now getting bored and I have to move on and learn something else. So I can
I get
attest.
like that sometimes too. But my rising sign is a Libra, so I can understand how I get like that.
I don't remember what mine is.
Yeah, I have both my sun and moon in Virgo while my rising is in Libra.
I was trying to look at my co-star thing to see. Oh, Gemini, Moon in Taurus, and Rising in Libra. I don't know how that can be, but whatever. They say that's what it is.
Well, and then we get to the next, that kind of leads into the next chapter, is the celestial bodies. It tells you how long each planet stays in each sign.
I know this was interesting to read because I was over here like, even though they consider Pluto not a planet, they still say that it's not yet demoted from full planetary status in astrology, and that Pluto takes 246 years to travel around the zodiac.
Yep.
That's a lot.
And it sometimes visits each sign for 11 years, sometimes for 32.
That's crazy.
And then they go into the different houses. So I'm still kind of learning the house portion.
Yeah.
I'm still not quite there yet.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with these, so I don't quite understand why we have 12 houses.
Yeah, and I still have to refer to CoStar for like what signs are in which house kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting to read about because you can see what the different houses do. Like the first house is the house of the self, and then the second house is the house of worth. So I get that because then they also go into like intellect, home, love, work, partnership, transformation, the house of understanding, house of status, house of friendship, and subconscious. But like putting it all together is a little vague.
Yeah. So based on my CoStar, in the first house I have Libra for the ascendant in Venus, and Scorpio and Jupiter. They're in my first house apparently. Second house, Pluto and Scorpio. Fourth, Capricorn with Neptune and Uranus. Fifth is Pisces and Saturn. Then it skips over 6th, 7th, and 8th and goes to 9th, House of Understanding. That's Cancer and Mars. And then 11 is my Virgo Sun. And 12 is Virgo Moon and my Libra and Mercury. So.
Oh, I think I see what you're saying now.
Yeah. That's just based on like what CoStar is telling me. Hello, Adam.
I finally figured out like where to find that in CoStar. Mine says that, I guess, I don't know if I'm gonna read this right or not, but it says like Scorpio Saturn 1, Sagittarius Uranus 2, Capricorn Neptune 3, Taurus Moon 7, and Gemini Venus 8. If I'm reading this correctly.
I think
so. I those are the houses.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you can see it. Probably not.
Yeah, I just went to yours and pulled it up. It's interesting how you only have 5 houses.
Right? I'm trying to figure out why. But I guess those, like, if I would take those numbers, then I could look at each of the 12 houses and see what it says.
Yeah.
I remember I had the first house and the 8th house.
The only thing it doesn't really say is like in the book is what the ascendant is, like what your ascendant sign means. I just noticed that
Yeah,
they deal with the planets, just they don't mention what your ascendant or rising sign is.
that I would like to know more about too, because it's great to have like what element and what sign you are, and then know the 12 houses. But what does it mean if you're? I mean, can you ever descend? Is it
Right.
always going to be ascended?
Well, welcome in, Adam. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, hello.
So I know with the sun, it represents ego, health, and pride. So with mine being in the 11th house, that's the house of friendship. So more specifically about community, about what we relate to those we come together in with as a group. So my ego is in the house of friendship. So I guess I'm more like pragmatic about stuff, or empathetic when it comes to like group things. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm gonna have to like Google this.
And then it gives you information on how to create your natal chart. So
I haven't attempted that yet.
I haven't either, since I just have CoStar, and CoStar does that for you.
Right?
Probably won't be able to see it very much, but yeah, if I tilt it at an angle, it kind of shows you how my chart is at the bottom there.
Oh, where do you find that?
If you go to then chart, it gives you the table, or you can choose circle.
Oh, I think I have the boxed one. It doesn't give me the circle. I'll have to figure that out later. Lucinda is still with us, she says.
Whoop, whoop.
But I do like the illustration for that one.
Yeah.
Because you can see all of them, and
I kind of want to like get actual like copies, like physical copies of this artwork just to have hanging up everywhere.
ooh, that would be cool.
And then we have palmistry. I tried reading my own like palm. I can't tell if I'm reading it correctly.
I know. I kind of want to find someone who will, because I know like some of them will actually use like a washable marker and then like draw the lines of what they're trying to look at.
Yeah.
But I tried to look at it. I think you're supposed to do it for your dominant hand.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, there's a lot of lines there. I don't.
Yeah. I'm like looking at both of mine, and I'm like, excuse me. There's lots of stuff here.
Yeah, and like some of them I can tell like it almost looks like it's only half of the line instead of all of the line, and
That's how I am as well.
I don't know exactly which line is the correct one. I will leave it to the professionals.
Yeah. But it does like give you a good overview of like if it's broken or chained, like crisscrossing lines lead to a trouble path. Like I don't know how I feel about that, because I think my lifelines, to me, it looks kind of chained, but
Well, that and I don't same like I don't. There's so many different possibilities because there could be long, short, faint, deep, broken, forked, chain, multiples.
yeah.
And then like if you get to like the headline or the heart line, even after all of the other ones where it's like long, overextended, short, deep, faint, straight, curved, wavy, broken, forked, chain, branches that go up, branches that go down. And I'm like, listen, are we a tree? It's a lot to look into. And the fact that they have so many different possibilities for the lines is a little intimidating.
Yeah. And then there's like the minor lines, which like if you have like the bracelets or something. Like
Yeah.
at least they indicate longevity.
And see, I think I have those bracelets because I have 2 lines that go across the wrist. But
yeah, I do as well. I actually
to be that close
because
together.
that one was just an indent from from when I had my arm on the desk. We're talking about a section in the book that has to do with palm reading.
Yes.
I haven't actually found any place here. I've heard of any place here doing palm reading, surprisingly.
I don't know if my store has it or not. They might.
I know there's the stores, they do tarot and oracle readings, and I've seen one of the store doing Reiki.
Yeah, mine have those.
Yeah, but I haven't seen anywhere, at least recently, doing anything for palm readings. Jordan's mom actually has a small deck of cards about palm readings that she was kind of looking at. I'll have to, like, next time we're over at her place, I'll have to get her to see if she understands mine at any, comparing to the card deck that she has. Lucinda says she has a local one. That's pretty cool. Now, I also didn't, like, before I read this book, I didn't know what, like, the different, like, mounts on your hand was called. I didn't know that they had a name.
Yeah. And
his brain is just going to explode because of the different 9.
It really is. There's so much that, like, you don't know about, and then you start reading about it, and then you try to figure it out, and it's like, well, do I have that? I can't tell.
And I was reading, like, when I was rereading this, I was in the bath too, so I was competing with pruny hands at the time.
No.
That's probably the best time.
Best to do it when you're not in the bath.
Yeah. And they have, like, markings, hand textures, hand shapes. It's a huge place called Blackpool here. Across the seafront, there's lots of little huts with ladies in it, often with Romani gypsy heritage. I would love to have a Romani, like, palm reading. I feel like those would be, like, the most legit ones you would get.
Road trip.
Or air trip, considering we have to go flying.
Oh, yeah. Well, it'd be half air, half road.
And then cryognomy, I think that's how you say it, but it looks at the shape of your hands. So
yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Short fingers and square palm, I think, is what I have. So mine would be the earth hand. Practical, hardworking, and somewhat resistant to change. Prefers a life spent out of doors.
I don't know what mine is.
You read something wrong.
Shush. Hand size, small, proportionally smaller hands indicate that a person can be a little egotistical and quite ambitious. Rude.
Right?
In there.
You read that, you go, rude?
At least I can't add this part, hand texture. Soft, artistic, refined, i.e. uses lotion. Way to call me out there.
Or like the roughed one, hardworking, practical, somewhat impatient, i.e., doesn't use lotion.
Yeah, that one says.
I'm just like, what are you trying to say? Maybe I like working with my hands. I don't have time for lotion.
We have like the different lengths of the fingers.
Yeah, that's a lot. This is a lot to like even. Then you have to look at your fingertips and your fingernails, and that's a lot of
Yeah.
detail to look at.
Mm-hmm. Fan-shaped stress. I know I'm stressed. I'm always stressed. It's just me. That's how I am. But it does at least give you some pointers on how to do your reading. Apparently, you start with the person's non-dominant hand, as this will be provide a baseline for how to read the difference in the dominant hands. I do believe some people have the ability to channel messages from others. I wish I had. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely believe in those things. It's not all that based on coincidence to me. I just wish I had better radar for all that.
Yeah.
Now we have dream interpretation. This is one thing I need to be better about in my own practice is keeping an actual dream journal. I have one on my nightstand. I just always forget to write down my dreams before I forget them.
Maybe do something like when you first wake up before you go to the
Yeah.
bathroom or something. Just jot it down.
Mhm.
But I do like that they went through like little different things. Like if you're dreaming about falling, this is what it means. And if you're dreaming about flying, then this is what it means. And that kind of thing.
And then they have like the less common dream symbols. Dreaming about food can mean that you're hungry, but it can also symbolize a hunger for knowledge. Just like that you could be hungry, but... And then it tells you how to interpret dreams by keeping like the dream journal, and then it has a little bit about lucid dreaming.
Yeah, this section was very interesting because I do like I've had some of those dreams where you kind of feel like you're falling, or you like. I think when I was pregnant with one of my kids, it was like I could see my mom holding the baby, but she never said anything, and she never like it was just her standing there holding the baby, and there were other people around, but it was her that was holding the baby. So it's always interesting. Like I wish I would have had this book because then I'm gonna be like, what does it mean?
Yeah, I've had many lucid like dreaming, especially ones involving like my grandparents that have passed. And some of them are not, like, they're kind of disturbing ones too. And I'm like, why is my brain doing this to me? Why?
Right.
But, we are in Florida. We're just on opposite sides.
Yep.
But yeah. And then we have the conclusion, and ta-da, we're done.
And I do like that it has a list of like other resources and stuff in the back. Where you can find. Oh, they actually give you like a little empty chart.
I was just about to say they do have it where you can create your own natal chart.
I didn't see that. Because I got to the end and I said, oh, this is just references and resources. Okay, I'm done. Well, that's nice. You can photocopy that and fill it in.
Yeah. I definitely highly recommend this. as a beginner. This was, I think, maybe my second book that I had ever read when I was first starting to get into the witchcraft stuff. I believe this was my second one. And I still go back to it many times.
I didn't know
Especially
it existed until you.
I happened to
grew up
actually find it at my library of all places, and I liked it so much I had to get my own copy.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
I grew up. There's a bunch of books by an author, Silver Ravenwolf, and she does a lot of the like teen witch, To Light a Sacred Flame, those kind of books, and those are the ones I grew up with.
Mhm. Oh, I didn't know Al Capone had a house in the Key West.
Neither did I. I know Hemingway has a house in Key West because they have the Hemingway cats down there.
Yeah.
But I didn't know Al Capone was down there.
I'm not.
Everybody's in Key West.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Everyone
Yeah.
seems to be in the Key West. But yeah, that is the book for August. September, we are reading These Witches Don't Burn or Won't Burn. I'm forgetting the actual name in the
I think it's
author.
Don't Burn.
Don't Burn.
And then the author is Isabel Sterling.
Yeah.
I just don't have my copy.
Yeah, I need to get a copy from the library. But we are reading that for September, and we may have a hope on the discussion. I have to ask her and make sure she is still wanting to read it. So I actually haven't seen The Craft.
Ooh, it's really good. You have to watch it. It's kind of. It's been a while since I've seen it, but from what I remember, it was good. And then like one of them was kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't actually watched a whole lot of 90s like witchy ones unless it was Hocus Pocus or like Hocus Pocus is really the only one that I watched from the 90s.
Charmed would be a good one, the TV show. Not the you could watch the reboot, but the original Charmed is better.
Yeah, we actually saw a couple of episodes of Charmed when we were in Tennessee, because it happened to be playing on reruns on like TNT or something like that. So we watched like an episode or two. So that was fun because my mom actually watched that a lot when I was growing up. So I told her, I was like, if you ever wonder why I'm into this stuff, it's because of you. You watched this. This was it.
Yes, I do too. I have all of them on DVD. I want to go and watch them again.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us as we chat about the book, and we will let you know. Hopefully, I will actually get the live show for the next one up before the day of. So, yeah, because that was bad on me. But we will let you all know whenever the next live show is, and we hope you will join us then. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.